on. Hey YouTube, I'm back. I just thought this is part 2. So we had a technical issue and I'm back. So thank you all for joining. I'm just currently discussing. I can't actually remember what I'm discussing because I'm live on TikTok and live on YouTube. But we're just going to get into a topic now, exploring church cults, looking at tactics and characteristics, continuing where we left off. And I was basically talking about psychology and deconstructing and deprogramming, and how important it is to look at the works of Carl Jung, Jung, to really understand, the shadow self and personality, and just going within and understanding that inner work and how to do it. And really knowledge, guys. Knowledge is power, the scriptures tell us for lack of knowledge our people perish, and I really do think that that's true, because I was just getting on to saying that the Bible is written like in a code, because they've tried to do a lot of things to it, you see. So when the pastors say that like a Bible is not like a textbook that you can just read, that is true. But they then manipulate it in coercing you and indoctrinating you to believe in grandiose ideologies of themselves, that they are a mediator and a middleman between you and God, and that they have all the answers. However, you have to seek within, because the only way you can find out that map to life is hidden inside of you. That's why it says like seek and you shall find. Like them scriptures, I never understood what they meant. But since I've left and I've started going within, I understand that seek and you shall find, because it's within. It's within the wells of, our heart and our emotions and within. Do you get what I'm saying? That's where it all pours from. Like when we cry, when we feel those emotions, it's just pouring out of self. So it's all within, guys. It's all within our DNA, within the memories that we carry through our genetics. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like there's so much within, and I just think that when you go within, it's the safest, especially in these end times that we're facing at the moment. Do you know what I mean? To be able to then see if those truths within align. Do you get what I'm saying with those scriptures? Because then I feel like since I've been coming out and I've been going more within, what it's allowed me to do is join those dots, depending on my personal relationship with God, how I know God, how I feel God moves and works. So if I read something, I don't care where it is, and it doesn't align and resonate with me, because I have a personal relationship with God, and we are in 2025, we're not in 1885. So we have AI, we have ChatGPT, we have instant information, we have, instant technology and instant answers at our fingertips, really and truly. So when you see people in these settings where the pastor is talking absolute human fecal matter, and you can just go on your phone and in less than 20 seconds get an answer to counteract what he said, then you know that those people in there have severe mental health, or they're running away from something. So before, Christians used to be able to what they do is they use a lot of emotional manipulation. They're master manipulators. So they're able to pull on your heartstrings. And essentially that's what they teach us in there. They teach us how to manipulate people, how to be manipulators. And that's why they're constantly breaking you up and breaking you down. And you're constantly in a cognitive dissonant state, because it's so contradictory. Like every other thing that comes out of their mouth there's so much contradiction. I can feel people shouting. Are there people going, yeah? I feel like there's so much contradiction when they speak that you become really confused. And that confused state where you kind of think, oh, that was a bit funny, but oh no, it's prophet knows what. That is cognitive dissonance. So that's when they're indoctrinated. I always liken it to everybody can look outside and see, okay, the sky might be a bit grey now, but we can all agree that on an ordinary day the sky is mainly blue. Yeah, for argument's sake. Now, when you get into a church cult setting, they'll say to you, yes, the sky is blue, but if you look beyond the realms of the 5th and 6th heaven, where there is a veil that only the prophet and the chosen anointed God server can see beyond the veil into the 12th kingdom, you can see that the Lord will open my eyes prophetically, and you will see as you catch the anointing and follow the man of God like Elijah followed Elisha. You will see that the sky is actually a tint of turquoise, but cannot be seen by the naked eye. Therefore, you need to pray and seek the Lord. Seek and he shall answer. Knock and you shall find. That the Lord will take the scales of the worldly temptations and lusts of the world off your eyes to get a new covering, a spiritual covering under the mantle and the house of God, to be able to see the turquoise lining. Okay? Sexy Sarah, you're going to get blocked now, my love, because we don't share on this live, unfortunately. Trolls report the live when it's shared. So I'm really sorry, but unfortunately, yeah. If you haven't been blocked, give her a chance then, because I don't think she'd have that in her name if she was in the church, babe. She ain't in the church. She's got SEXY. No, let's not block her, man. She's one of us. She ain't in the church. Yeah, Sarah ain't in the church, man. Can we all agree that she ain't in the church? Because she's got SEXY at the beginning of her name. She can't be in the church, chair. All right, so let's allow Sarah, man. Yeah, let's allow Sarah. Sarah, you're good, queen. I only just clocked, girl. The fact that you SEXY saved you, girl. The fact that you were baddie, it saved you, queen. Pretty privilege. Because we don't get pretty privilege in the church, you see. They demonize pretty girls. Oh gosh, God forbid you have a body. God forbid you're curvy. Oh God, if you're curvy and you're pretty and you're smart and you're funny and you're kind, you are Jezebel. Delilah, get her out. Someone please call 911. Is it a crime? Is it a crime? You know, like, is it a crime? Like, is it our fault that we're beautiful? Is it the gal them's fault that they've got figures? Like they got nice figures. Like, it's not their fault. But again, they demonize this in the church cult, and because you know why? They want to put the accountability on the woman. So when they sleep together, it's automatically the woman's fault, because they want to be able to teach great apologist rhetoric and misogynistic rhetoric. So as soon as like a girl and a guy sleep together in their like, it's the woman's fault. You are walking around wearing tight clothes. You know that you have big kahulas, because they make up, in my cult, they'll make up words. You have big kahulas. And every time you walk, it wiggles and shakes. And you know it. And you know that is how you used to get the men in the club before. You will be shaking your B-U-M-B in the club. And now you bring that into the church and you are tempting the men. I will tell you right now that according to the word, anything that happens between a man and a woman, it is the woman's fault. Because the woman has the power to say no. When she doesn't say no, it's automatic. You know, they go into all of this, and it's just, you know, I think when I look back, I think to myself, like, was it ignorance? It's just misogyny. It's just misogyny, because like my cult leader's a doctor. So we can't say, do you understand what I'm saying? That he's ignorant and he doesn't know, because he does know. And exactly what Queen Innes is saying, God has made these women like this. And even in the world, you see women paying thousands of pounds to get work done, this, that, and the third. Like, people are spending a lot of money to look like this. Do you get what I'm saying? But in the church cult, it's like they've got to break down these women. God forbid you come in here and you think you're special. Because in the world, you get treatment for that. You're able to get men to do whatever you want, seduce men like this, that, and the third. You can't do this in this setting. You are not going to be allowed to do that. There's absolutely no... So it's like they have to break down the women. Leah, I loved your interview. Thank you for what you do. Oh, thanks, babe. I appreciate you. And to anyone who wants to watch my interview, that is what my screen, green screen is behind. You can watch it on Based and Bougie on YouTube. It was my first interview, podcast style. And I'm so pleased. Like, I've had so much good feedback from survivors. I'm really, really happy that I represented, guys. And I hope that you felt that, you know, I brought some justice, you know, in exposing the things that happen in these church cults. And I really tried to cram like everything that I talk about on the lives, like, you know, the most, I would say I was looking at patterns of things that I spoke about most and tried to fit it all in. So, you know, hopefully I've made some impact, Chair. I know that it's going well. A lot of people have seen it as well. And again, guys, silence is compliance, you know, we are the collective. So I just want to urge people to come forward. You know, if you've experienced, especially Karis, because I mean, I will be doing my week exposure, but guys, I've been so tired. I'm not even gonna lie, because I've had to concentrate more on my spiritual practices now, because I've had to up my protection, my spiritual protection. So I'm feeling to wake up at random times and things like that. So I'm very tired. But the thing is, and this is why I keep saying to them, like, this is, they're so used to doing things with their hands, like making things happen through manipulation, psychological. They can't do that with me. They can't do that with y'all, with the survivors who are woke, because they can't manipulate our minds. That's why they're trying to hack my email. Hey Chase, that's why Chase, you're back. That's why they're trying to hack my email. That's why they're trying, they actually tried to, when you have the thing that comes up on your iPhone and it says the iPad is trying to access your phone or connect to your phone. Can you imagine? Now they're trying to get into my phone. So all of these things that they're doing, it just shows that what I'm doing is working. Do you know what I mean? Because the strange woman, but it doesn't matter. They can't. The thing is, it doesn't matter what they do because more people are going to be speaking out. There's more survivors coming out that are going to be like, I'm just the first one to do this. Do you know how many survivors are lit? There's survivors that's more lit than me, but they're healing. They're healing. There's one survivor. If that survivor comes and speaks out, they're finished. What are they going to do? Thanks for the follow, babe, on Insta. It shows where they try to log in from, though, right? The location. Yeah, it was Croydon. I've already sent it. Remember, I said I've sent it to my uncle friends, innit? So they're looking into it, and then I'm going to report it to the police. But I know them uncles are going to do it because I blocked them, the two of them. So now that they heard from me, they're really happy. Do you know what I mean? Already downloaded. I got 2 different softwares on my phone, child. They told me how to do the whole thing. So that's all fine. It's all sorted now from that end. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's first love. It could be SPAC because we all know how the SPACers are. I speak about a lot of church cults. Do you get what I'm saying? So it really and truly, but I don't know. I just don't feel like this is SPAC style. I feel like this is more. It's given like really NERD, like very. It's probably Caris or First Love, but I know Caris are a bit more RADICAL because like David hasn't achieved what he should have achieved in 20 years. Do you know what I mean? So he pushes them really hard. So it's very like extreme doctrine that he teaches in there. And then it's like, because there's that projection and that need for the supply from the members. Do you know what I mean? That it's an absolute zib in there. So the behavior it's given, but Caris are the bottom bees to First Love. So it's probably Caris or First Love. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, guys. So basically, what I want to explore tonight is basically how they recruit people and what the kind of like the main places are that they're doing it up. Because I was thinking about this the other day. And guys, please share like where they recruited you, what places, if I've missed somewhere out. I'm not going to go through all of them. And I think I did mention them earlier briefly. But and this is another thing. The reason why there's so many young people and whatever is because the majority of them are young people and they're out in these spaces where young people are. So that's why the main places will be like bus stop, train station, nail shop, anywhere where you're sitting and they can get like a conversation going. Hey, God-fearing Cupid, they can get a conversation going because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get a conversation going with you. So any place where they've already got access to you or it's a place that's set up, you've got to be like aware of your surroundings. So that's why I say like nail shops. I've done a lot of recruitment in nail shops. I've got a lot of numbers. Like that was my top place. Work is like up there with my top 3 because, like you can form like work relationships with people. You get to know people, on a deeper level. You find out more about their life. Do you get what I'm saying? It becomes easier to recruit because it's not like a stranger. It's harder when you're just talking to a stranger off the street because you've got to get the adrenaline to speak to that person. Some people may not be confident, so they really do GROOM the people to recruit family members. Thanks for the gifts, family members and work colleagues. So a lot of the time, like what you'll see in this is another red flag. what you'll see in the church cults is that there's a lot of people related to each other. And if it's not through like blood, it will be through like work, or and then, so for example, you may have like a whole family that's in there, say like a mom, a dad, a sister, whatever. So that's showing like second, third generation cult members. But then when you have things like there's two sisters in there, and then their cousin, and then their cousin's work colleague, and then it's their work colleague's cousin. Do you understand what I'm saying? They're all connected somehow. Or it's this girl, I invited my friend who I went to school with, then she invited her sister, and then her sister invited her cousin on her dad's side. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like a chain. It's like word of mouth. That's why they're really big on like reputation, and they groom the members to be like stewards, and they indoctrinate them to believe that they have this like special role. They indoctrinate you to believe that it's almost, you feel like you're a superhero spiritually. Like they indoctrinate you so heavily, yeah, that you believe like you've got like power to heal people. And guys, I don't mean to laugh, because I know that, you know, people can be healed, and you know, according to the Bible, in the name of Jesus. I'm not mocking the fact that people could be healed, but what I am mocking is the fact that, you know, people are praying for like 6 hours in mind altered states, and you've got a pastor that's connected to the most corrupt politician. He's got him coming on a Good Friday service to, you know, do up his propaganda and his own agenda. And then you've got women being essayed and raped, and they're brushing it under the rug, and the cult leader's well aware. I don't think that you're going to be hearing, or you're going to get any type of spiritual power to heal anybody, to be honest, when you're putting on the pseudo personality of an absolute devil. I just don't see how the two connect. That's what makes me think like this, and the stuff that they do, the powers, it's dark powers that they're working with. It's dark magic. So I'm not impressed by anything that these, you know, dark magicians do. Was it that they want? So on Instagram, they're saying, was it that they want? What is it that they want from these young people? Is it is it mainly SA, financial, or physical? Okay, it's a combination. When we look at the power and control wheel, which is used for intimate partner, VIOLENCE, basically what that is governed by is power, control, and then SEX. So usually with cults, you'll find that a combination of all three. So that kind of SA, great, the financial, physical, all of these things make up the components and the characteristics of what you find in a cult. So what the overarching reason for all of this is control, is ego, is power, is control, is ego. Remember that these cult leaders are malignant narcissists, okay? So they need a constant supply to feed their narcissistic tendencies. So it depends what the cult leader's poison is. For some of them, it's shopping addictions. For some of them, it's SA in women. For some of them, it's grape in women. For some of them, it's buildings. My cult leader's absolutely obsessed with empires, buildings. It makes them feel powerful. Anything that can make them feel powerful, grandiose, in control. You know, people being beneath them, like them having that forced control. They're sadistic, so they like that kind of stuff. They like taking away positions of power. So that's why a church is perfect, because they're the ultimate position of power, the ultimate authority. They can take away positions of power. They can destroy people. They can make people from nothing into something. Like, it's like celebrities. It's like they can change your life in the blink of an eye. So they hold all that. There's too much power for one person. That's why the way that the church cults are set up is just not godly. That's why there's so much abuse that happens, because it's just not from God. It's very man-made, self-serving. They're lovers of self. When you put that clip of Dag up the other day, he sounded EVIL. Oh, which clip? I've been putting up a lot of him. Do you know what, guys? I'm not even going to lie here. When I'm not exposing Dag, I start to feel unwell. So I've got to make sure, as I'm exposing the other church cults, that I put a little bit of Dag in there, man, because I start to have withdrawal symptoms. You get it? Because I have to expose Dag, because it was just 18 years of my life. It was just too much time. Guys, please like up the live. Guys, I am just going to make this one a short one, because I've been on live quite a lot today. Tomorrow, I am going to be doing more of a focus on content. Guys, I've got so much content. I need to get out content on Kairos, RP, all the cults basically. Tomorrow I need to get out a piece of content on all the cults. That's what my goal is. And I've got to do I want to do up some of my book as well. Narcissism makes so much sense. We need you interviewed on mainstream TV. Oh, thank you. Pray for me, pray for me, okay? Pray that the Lord will open the windows of heaven and will pour out a blessing of national TV favor, influence, and an open door. Pray that the Lord will open a door for me. As the manna fell for the Israelites when they were in the wilderness for 40 years. May that be my portion. May the Lord, may Yahweh, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. May he begin the new beginnings for me as he opens the door and the windows of opportunity. Limitless favor, abundance, dominion, territory, and takeover in the mainstream TV, internet world. In the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Give Jesus a round of applause. That's all it is in there. Do you know what I mean? Like, anyone can do it, baby. Instagram, I don't want you to see my toesies. Anyone can do it, chair. And that's all it's about. Listen, if you're an actor, you can do so well in the cult, yeah? And you know what it is? A lot of these people, yeah, I don't know where if you're corrupt and you come into a corrupt environment, you're just going to be more corrupt. You're going to know how to like play that system, work that system. So that's exactly what they do up in there. They're just all corrupt. They're in this little self-sealing system. And that's why it's really sad. Christ first in the cup. That's why it's really sad, guys, when there's someone who's genuine in there with a real heart for God. And they come in and they're like they're a sheep amongst a pack of wolves. That's how I felt. Like when I look back, I'm like, I didn't stand a chance. But you know, as I was meditating today, because one of the ways that I get out a lot of my anger, because that's the one thing I get really angry when I think about everything that they've done. And I hear a lot of different accounts from survivors, like gut-wrenching accounts. I'm even disassociating now. And one of the ways that I channel that anger through is through like, you know, like 90s, 2000s, early 2000s hip hop. It just takes me back to my days and I get to get out all that anger and whatever. And I started thinking today and I just said, you know what? I'm really happy that like I'm from the hood. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really happy that I had that exposure. Do you get what I'm saying, to certain things? Because when you've been around that life, what it does is it just makes you like not afraid of no one. Do you get what I'm saying? Because that's why even, you know, like guys who are in gangs and stuff, they get like diagnosed with like PTSD. You know, we become desensitized to violence. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because you're just like in a room with a bag of man and they're just getting out the ting. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, everyone was laughing and joking 2 minutes ago because everyone's so unstable. There's so much trauma. Do you know what I'm saying? There's so much trauma and they just go from 0 to 100 and they don't know how to manage or regulate their feelings and emotions. Like, do you know, very hot-headed, very, you know. And I just think, you know, I just think like, it doesn't matter where you're from in the world. If you've grown up in poverty, if you've like grown up in the hood, I don't give a damn who you are. That type of struggle, we're just built differently. Like people from the hood, which we're just built differently. We're from the barbed wire concrete jungle, baby. Do you know what I mean? Like a lot of people don't live past 25. There's people that just, you know, there's different struggles in the hood. You can unalive depending on what you get yourself involved in gangs. But then at a deeper level, just the trauma from living in the hood, living in deprivation. Oh, hey, Froggy. Living in deprivation. The trauma, do you get what I'm saying? Of maybe having a parent that's got alcohol and substance misuse. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, just various different things. Thanks for the follow, babe. People in and out, like lost their minds, in and out of, you know, like mental institutions. people who have turned to DRUGS, that messes up our community. DRUGS, it is so sad because people are just trying to, it's a cycle. People are just trying to feed their family, but they're ruining their communities at the same time. But it's the only way, because they've put us in what we call socially disorganized communities, and that's when the community becomes disorganized, and they feel like they have to create their own laws, their own structures, to feel safe and to bring organization, some sort of sense of organization to the community. So that's why you've got that culture with like gangs in the hood, where it's like if someone unalives someone, like no one's talking, you don't snitch, you don't talk. Do you understand? They handle it themselves. They then take the law into their own hands. Thank you, Froggy. And they do whatever they got to do. So, you know, the hood, in a way, not in a way, it is a self-sealing system. So I suppose, I think that's why I didn't really see it. And I was trying to escape. I was trying to get out. I wanted a new life. So, you know, I just don't know. I just don't know what they're trying to do. Like, at the end of the day, there have been times, yeah, if I had been in that car with that guy on a certain day, I would have been in that car. And when that got lit up, I would have been in that car. There are times if I had gone to a rave on a certain day, or I had been with a guy on a certain day, there's guys that I have been dating and they've been lit up in a barbershop. Back of their head, that's it, done. Yeah. So, and that's why my boyfriend that unalived, it was just waiting to happen, because the guys that I was dealing with, that was their end. Like, that's why I said to you, when people say, oh, they got stuff on me, no, you don't. Because like, most of them are like 6 foot under now. So unless you're a medium and you can talk to the unalived, I don't know how you're going to get that information. So for me personally, it's like the life I've lived and the things I've walked out. That's why I'm able to do what I'm doing today. That's why I'm able to sit here and do this, standing 10 toes down. Y'all who are coming and training and ringing my phone on a private number, you're not. I'm out here coming against all these mega churches with my face and my name straight, like Minakir. And then you lot are phoning my private number like the little princesses that you are, breathing down the phone heavily like some idiot. You can't even say your name. You're sitting on the phone doing this up, and you think I'm gonna feel what am I supposed? What is that supposed to do to me? That's what I'm like. I just put you on DND. It's 2025, babe. Like, bare women have men who are obsessed with them. Do you know what I mean? And that's what DND's for. That's what blocking's for, Jaya. How can I reach you to share my story? Oh, just message me on. Do you know what, Froggy? Have you got Instagram? If not, just message me on TikTok. Thanks for the follows on there, guys. So, you know, as I said to you, the only thing that they're teaching people to be in these church cults is liars and manipulators. That's what I said to you. Is like, guys, I'm not even gonna lie. Like some of the guys that the guys that I was dealing with, yeah, they are like guys. I don't think you understand. Like, if I could, like, you know, put things up and show you lot, like, guys, this is that, you lot would be like, raw, like, ugh. But you know, I'm not a clout chaser, and I don't need to be screaming up names and putting up whatever. But I'm just going to let you know that the people I'm talking about, like, I can give you their names to go and look them up. Like, they've been in newspapers, like they've served 15 years, they've served 10 years, they've served, you know, like life sentences for M charges. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, this is the level that I'm talking about. Do you get what I'm saying? And this is the level of EVIL, because they demonize guys in gangs and whatever, that people see in the world. And, you know, like the statutory agencies, whatever, have felt that, okay, we need to lock these people away now and throw away the key. Yeah. These are the individuals I have been around. And I'm telling you that the people in the church, these pastors, they are way more EVIL than these guys who are on the roads unaliving people. And guys, that is on period, point blank. Oh, Froggy, that's the only way you can contact me, my love. Just create a TikTok. Create a TikTok. You can just do it you don't even need to keep it. Just create a TikTok and send me a message, and then I can give you more information, because I wouldn't be able to give you like this. Do you see what I mean? Yeah, just create a TikTok and message me on there, and then I'll tell you the next steps. Yeah? Is that all right? Yeah, so, and do you know why? Like, looking back, I think that's why I had to go through the things I had to go through, and I was with those type of guys, because I think it was so for this moment. So I can come back and say, and if I have to, you know, drop names at a certain point, but actually I'm not going to drop names, because those guys are out now. those guys with the newspaper, those guys, you know, these are very dangerous individuals. Do you know what I'm saying? And the ones I'm talking about, they're just unhinged. So to be fair, I like going back to my ends. I like to walk freely in, do you know what I mean? In certain areas, yeah. So where people, I got love for me. So I'm not going to be saying names, but I would just say that if I was to tell you some of the stories and the people that I was associated with, you would understand the level of EVIL that I'm talking about is in this church. And I remember I told my pastor's wife one time, and she was like, "Oh, Leah, oh, this is ridiculous. You're taking it too far now. You're taking it because I said that Emmanuel Baden was more EVIL than guys who are unaliving people. Miss CHM in the cup, but that was the truth because that's what I could see. But they don't want to hear the truth in there. They want to live, it's like they want to live their little fairy tale. Do you know what I mean? Like their head is absolutely in the clouds. It's that they're so far removed from reality that, and guys, that's why like I really do believe that some of these pastors, they're just knowingly doing it, but other pastors are actual pathological liars, and they actually believe the lies that they're doing up because they've lied so much to self to the point where they have internalized the lies that they are now, this is now malignant because it's spreading, and everybody's got the mindset of the cult leader to the point where they would unalive themselves in replace like of the cult leader. But if Jesus Christ was to walk into the church tomorrow, they wouldn't even recognize Jesus. The security, what I'm trying to understand is they're all claiming that this is a church of Christ, and I've said this so many times. If Jesus was to come back tomorrow, like look at that Good Friday in Times Square or wherever it was, Independent, whatever, or even just Caris on a Sunday. If you try and get out your camera to record, they're tapping you. Jesus can't even go into his own church and record, chair. You can't. Jesus won't be able to get up on the stage and ask for the mic. The security, like they did to someone else's parent, would have what's the word? They would have used force, brutal force, chair, to reprimand them from even being able to touch. Well, there's no hair on David Antry's head, so to be able to touch his bar lead, you wouldn't even get not even a centimeter close, share. I genuinely think these people are possessed. It makes no sense for a human to be so EVIL and power hungry. I've actually deconstructed devils and demons and things like that out of my psyche, but I do definitely get what you're saying. I do definitely. I just think that it's I just think that narcissism it's a personality disorder, unfortunately. I think from childhood trauma where something in the brain is just not connected. It's just, do you know what I'm saying? Like I think Dag had a really traumatic childhood, man. Like I think he was this is not, I haven't got this confirmed, but he's just given a child that, I don't know, like I feel like one parent was very kind of distant, not present. I think his dad, remember I said, I think his dad ran the home like a military. Like, I don't think he ever really felt love. I think the only one that he felt somewhat loved from was his mum. But people have said, guys, I'm just going to say it as the survivors, because Ghanaians, they got no chill. I'm just going to keep it real because I don't know how else to say it politely, but the auntie said that the mum's SLOW. So what I interpreted that to be was maybe she might have had some sort of, I don't know, like something. I don't even want to say it because it is a derogatory term, but I can't come on and say dementia or Parkinson's because it's not confirmed. So all I can go off, because I've never been around Dag's mum. So I can only go from the survivors that have told me in Ghana when she comes. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's all they've given me, jail. So that's not my words. And I can only go off that by looking at it maybe from that lens. And maybe his mum, there might have been mental health there. There might have been, do you understand what I'm saying? Where maybe she just tried her best. But also, back in the day as well, him growing up being, biracial I don't know how old Dag was. It must have been the 40s, isn't it? Or 50s or something. Do you get what I'm saying? Like that was a time of the peak of ageism. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I think there would have been a real confusion around identity. Something could have happened to him as a child. We just don't know, guys. Do you know what I'm saying? Hey, Steph, we just don't know. So, yeah, I don't know. That's just me just talking out loud, to be honest, just my thoughts. But, narcissism it's not curable, unfortunately. And as you've said, Navi, I do agree with the ego. That's a form of supply, them having those top positions, them being power hungry, them fulfilling their goals and desires. the ego. Do you know what I mean? That's all linked to the narcissism. Do you get what I'm saying? So I definitely agree. I feel that these places are a magnet for narcissisms and psychopaths and sociopaths, actually, because like those roles of, you know, a doctor or an executive or a CEO, please like the live guys on TikTok. They crave that attention and that validation. Do you know what I mean? Being in those high powered positions, any type of position where they can almost like give and take life, you'll find a narcissist or a sociopath or a psychopath. So that's why the role of a pastor, it transcends even time. You know, it transcends. They have like 24, not only do they have 24-hour access to you, they have eternal access to you. They have full authority over you. They control every area and every element of your life. They assume, you know, the position of God. So you can imagine, you know, when these women are getting essayed, do you get what I'm saying, and raped by these pastors, and you're looking at this man like a god, like a type of Jesus, like a father figure, and they violate you like that. It just, I mean, I don't even know, man. Imagine being in that position when you just freeze, like you're just trying to comprehend it all. You're trying to connect the dots, the brain, and then all the indoctrination. My heart goes out to Okay, 1 second, guys. I just need to confirm this. Sorry, YouTube. I don't know. They've changed this thing on TikTok now. You've got to confirm. Sorry, guys, because that, you know, my security feature came on. I don't know if they were trying to get into the phone again, but I had a little message that popped up. And then, because remember I told you they put this thing on there, and then I had to do something. So sorry, guys. They're trying to hack your girl's phone, y'all. I can't lie. Everyone has childhood trauma, even if. So that's the point I was getting to, just to go back quickly. So if anything was to happen to me tomorrow, if I got diagnosed with terminal illness, if something was to happen to me, I would unalive. I'm not afraid of unalivement. It's a natural cycle of life. That's what happens. We live to unalive. There are many times that I have escaped unalivement, as I've told you with the history of men that I was dealing with before on the roads. I've escaped unalivement a lot of times. So like when I was in the cult and I had that RADICAL mentality where I was like, I'm so grateful to God for me being alive. The pastor's done, he saved my life. He's my savior. That's the same mentality I have with what I'm doing right now. Yeah, I just need everyone in the cult to understand and know, Minakir. Because I unalived a long time ago. When I came to the realization that that was a cult, and the people that I trusted with my eternity and my salvation were graping, and they knew of men that had been essaying and graping women and transferring men around, transferring the problem and sweeping it under the rug. That was the day I unalived. That was the day that Leah that's gone. Yeah, that old version doesn't exist again. All right, just so you all know. All right, so on YouTube, someone said, I can't lie, everyone has childhood trauma, even I do, but I don't want to go and harm people. I guess we will never understand this level of EVIL. Ooh, it's true. Hey, Pat, I felt that, babe. I felt that. I'm not even going to lie. And I get where you're coming from, because it's like, it's inhumane, isn't it? You think, how can you treat another person like that? And especially the people that are brought close to the pastor, they really see what they're like behind closed doors. Like how they talk about people. Yes, my love, it's a new one. How they talk about people, you know, how the pastor's wife is just a gossip. That's why if you've got a church, yeah, where like they're all gossiping, like the women are gossipers, that's because the first lady is a gossip. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like it filters like from the top. So all the Caris survivors have told me that the girls are gossipers, they're mean girls, because our is. Do you understand what I'm saying? So they learn, they take on the pseudo personality like of the first lady, and they're the worst. Yeah. So if you get a cult where it's like there's a lot of prayer and there's a lot of, you know, because the first lady's strict, and usually them first ladies that do a lot of prayer, they've got their ministry in there, it's because the husbands they don't like to spend time with them. They don't LOVE them. So the husbands pour themselves into ministry to the point where, but because they're Pick Mishas and Barbara the Builders, they follow their husband around because they have no, they have no identity, and their life doesn't exist outside of the role of being that man's wife. Everything revolves around the man. So then she starts to set like, so she's very Radical, like Cece, you know, Cece Power. That's the kind of woman that you need to think of when I'm thinking of. Do you understand? So that is like hyper religious, where they're on the internet 24 hours a day. They're on their prayer. When do you not get time to blow out each other's back? When do you go on a date? We sacrifice for the ministry. So do you see, Onyeka doesn't want a wife. He doesn't want a lover. He wants a business partner. Someone who's going to build. And Cece definitely has that aesthetic. She definitely looks like a builder, doesn't she? You know? She looks like the type that loves to build, you know? Like, she's the type that if tomorrow the whole ministry crashed, she would be out working in McDonald's in the morning. She would be cleaning offices in the morning, then working in McDonald's. Then she'd be doing a security job at night. She'd be working in the factory in the evening. All whilst Onyeka was sitting up with his legs crossed on the table chair. And that is why they choose the women that they choose. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because they don't want to have to do anything. And that's the whole point. Majority of the men in the church cult are like that. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, they haven't got anything going for them. They marry these women who have, you know, like the jobs, and they're able to like HP the cars. And, you know, these men, they don't have no credit history. They're just, a lot of these guys, before they came in the church, they were F-boys. They were moving stuff. That's why when all these fat guys are, oh, I've got all this money, I'm just like, whatever, babe, your credit is so bad. Do you know what I mean? You've been in and out of jail. Just stop lying. Like, all the SPAC survivors have told us that you lot are all in debt and everything's leased. So a lot of these man them, they've got nothing. Do you get what I'm saying? It's the woman. So usually what happens is the house will be in the woman's name, the car is in the, everything's in the woman's name. That's why a lot of women come up and it just come out and they just divorce and just F's up their credit, F's up everything, because they're just matched up. They're just put in these arranged marriage with these absolute dusty guys. Or the guy has like a very, it's like, and there's nothing wrong, guys, with like minimum wage, working class jobs. There's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is, you know, the women are lower in their standards. If a woman came in there and she had a dream of, you know, wanting to marry a man who's maybe a business owner or a 6-figure earner, you know, so that she could have financial freedom. Now the woman's stressed out because if the guy was matching her income, she's on what, like, let's say 50k a year. That's a decent salary for someone who's like in their early 30s, whatever, right? But then because the guy, he can't match the salary and then it's not going up, what your pay is going to only go up a couple of grand every year on your pay scale. Do you know what I mean? Then the husband's probably on like 27k, and when they're single and they first get their flat and whatever, it's all fun and games, yeah. Then the baby comes and the expenses start going up and more things are needed, and then the child needs to eat and they get older and older and older. But that income, they're just not, because these guys are coasters and they can't do everything. They have to give, like, they spend more time in the church than they do at their work, the most like loyal ones. So they usually have jobs that they can just coast, that they can do with their eyes closed. They don't push themselves, because you can't do a job that's got too much pressure on you, because you've got to be able to do the ministry. And a lot of them do the ministry work at work as well, because they've just been working in these same jobs for like 10 years, 5 years. So they can do the jobs with their eyes closed. So a lot of them, they don't really leave those companies because they teach you to be a slave in there. So a lot of people are in very unhappy, unalived jobs. Working in local authority is HER. It's like serving a prison sentence. So a lot of them are going into these very unalived jobs. It unalives their creativity. There's a lot of creatives. They're just unaliving from the inside out, really. Their soul is crushed and destroyed because they're having to work these 9 to 5 boring, very horrifying jobs. And it just absolutely crushes their soul. They lose all forms of identity and they just turn into a robot. Yeah. So a lot of the women, when they get married, it's just a bondage. It's just a shackle around their finger, really and truly, to initiate them into becoming a slave and a house girl. That's all it is. It's just a glorified nanny, guys, and a mother. Yeah. So when they get into the marriages, after a couple of years, they ain't having no intimacy. It just becomes about this friendship thing. And the wives, they've got such low self-esteem. They're just happy to carry the man around like a big handbag. He doesn't even want to be there. These husbands don't even want to be there. They're just in it for what they can get, because the house is in the wife's name and they've been paying the mortgage off in her name. You know, they've got a lot of stuff tied down like that. So if he was to leave the wife, you know, he's got no investment. That's all it's about. It's very transactional. Yeah, because these women build with the man. That's what their security is in, with them building. But as soon as they build and the kids get older and the man gets what he wants to get out of them and he's sucked them dry and then he's used them to build, he leaves the woman. People usually divorce around 50. That's why you see a lot of people's life beginning, like that's why I say life starts at 40, 50. Ooh. So you see them uncles out in the clubs and the bars and, on the dating websites. A lot of people, they're just divorced, child. If you go on the internet dating website, majority of them people in there, they're in their 40s and 50s and they're divorced, child. When I got divorced and I went back out there, I was like, oh my God, there's this whole pool of like people, like when you get to your 30s and 40s, child, that are divorced and they are single and ready to mingle. So guys, don't rush. Leave it to the Barbara, the builders, and the pick-meshas to be with the guy, marry him, let them suck them dry, divorce them. Do you know what I mean? And maybe learn from their lessons, and you come in wised up, having your own stuff. Do you get what I'm saying? And you can read them for filth. Cheaper to keep her, as they say. It's cheaper to keep her. Yes, Black girl mind. I love it. That's the energy, Jer. It's not even cheap. It's free. Them ones. It's for a Rita Keeper. It's not even cheaper. They're lucky I didn't spit bars on that tune. Are you having a laugh? It's for Rita Keeper. You get me? Because remember them gal there, they're just getting a mug, man, from Asda for $2.99. Happy Mother's Day. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what my ex-husband used to get me. When he started getting me the mugs, that's when I said, no, man. I woke up one day. I remember it like yesterday. I said, no. Because when they start making the money and you see that they have the money and they're not spending it on you because they don't want to spend it on you, that's when it's time to go. That's when it's time to say bye-bye. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. That's when it's time to go, chair. And this is where women make the mistake. They get with the guy when they're broke. They build them up and they're like, I'm going to build them up. I can see the potential. We're going to build together. And then when they build them up and they make the money now all of a sudden, you've changed. You got dough and change. Got dough and you change. Baby, you changed. You got dough and you change. She knows a bit of Keisha Cole, yeah. Love didn't know what I was missing. And I know now we start kissing. I found love. Oh, Keisha, child. What do you mean? So they're just the MESS in there, child. Ladies, like seriously, you ain't missing out on nothing, child. Because that's all they do. They'll build the woman up. They'll build the man up, they build them up, and then they get all the money, and then now they're starting to see all of the things that she used to do before they didn't care about. Now, all of a sudden, when they got the money, do you know what I mean? He's starting to notice all of these things, and then he just goes off and just does his thing. And then before you know it, it just ends in divorce because they've been putting up with so much. But then it comes to the point where they're just like so disrespectful now. Like they've got, or the man leaves them. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, I beg of you, man, you got to know what you're doing, man, because and that's what I'm saying. When they make the money and then you see that they're not spending it on you, you see now, oh, they've got the money, they've got everything. They don't think, oh, let me do lovely things. I want to. I'm not saying all men are like that, but when they're like that, that's when you see, oh my gosh, this guy HATEs me. He's never loved me because now he's got the money. What's his excuse? Why ain't he doing nothing for you? Need to wake up, man. But anyway, guys, I think I'm gonna go now. Does anyone have any questions before oh look, Navi's busting up on YouTube. Before I go, does anyone have any questions? Froggy, so you can if you're still here, you can message me through TikTok. And I just want to let these hackers know, like, even if you hacked my phone, it's like the knowledge is all in here, babe. My brain is the computer. There's nothing. I don't even know what I'm gonna do next. Do you know what I mean? It's like I feel like I'm just moving. I'm just moving with the flow, man, of what I believe God is doing. And one thing I want to say, guys, is I'll end on this. When you come out of a cult, it's the most scariest experience that you will ever find yourself in, really and truly. It's like, do you know, the only way I could liken it is like all of your worst fears have now come upon you. It's all coming true. And you feel like you're in a nightmare that you can't wake up out of. And I know it sounds cliche, but that is literally it. And that's where a lot of people actually lose their minds, because they were in a different reality and you were in a different timeline, guys, because time doesn't exist. Time is relative, you see. Yeah. So it's almost like you've come out of an alternate universe, like another realm. Okay. And now you're back into reality. So you can liken it to self-sealing systems like prisons. And when they come out, that's why there's that reintegration, rehabilitation back into society. Because some people were in prison in the 80s and now they're coming out in 2025. This is like another world. It's like another planet. So, hey, Vessel of Dishonor, you're right, my love. So there's these realizations that we have to come to that are very deep, but I hope that they'll help people. Yeah, you do have to ground yourself. Do you think they have a lot of outgoings? Who? What, the church cults? Well, my cult, they own the building. So what, light, electricity, like gas? Do you know what I'm saying? Like they own their own building chair. And then you have to remember, babe, this is a good question, Featherstone. I like this. Because you have to imagine, you know, with these mega churches, yeah, they have like you got to be thinking, all right, this is how I'm going to break it down to you. Good old McDonald's. So you see how you've got McDonald's and then you've got franchises, and it doesn't matter where you go in the world, you'll still be able to get your bog standard quarter pounder, this, that. However, obviously we know in the Caribbean, the chicken is tasting like seasoned, yeah. Or when you go to France, you get more salads, more skinny French fries. So depending on the culture, it will change differently. However, you will still be able to get that main menu. Okay. So you have to think of it like that. And that's what these churches know. If they've got the same menu, same recipe, same whatever, people are going to come, because McDonald's is a well-known franchise and everybody likes a Happy Meal. Everybody likes it cheap. So they use the same formula, the same blueprint, and they do the same thing over and over and over again. So like how they have franchises in different places, that's how they do up the church cults. The branches are the franchises, and they indoctrinate people, RADICAL them, to give up their life to serve the purpose of the malignant, selfish narcissist to build his empire. But he thinks he's winning the lost at any cost and building a church for the Lord's house. So essentially, I've had survivors and I've been behind the scenes. The church pay for itself. The members pay for the church, and it's more than enough. They crowdfund. As I said to you, if we do up the tithe in my church, we worked it out to be 200 people. I think it was with a tithe of 150, or was it 250 people? Anyway, it worked out to be 37.5 grand. And it's going to be way more than that, because there's going to be some people that are getting, you know, married couples between them are on 10K, getting 10K a month more. Do you understand? So some people are giving thousands in tithes. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So, you know, it's 2 tithes could cover all the expenses for most of these churches. So it's very lucrative. Remember, guys, they're selling us nothing. Remember, business is about profit. And they are literally selling us nothing. They are selling us invisible blessings. Do you not get it? YouTube, they are selling us invisible blessings. Instagram, they are selling us invisible blessings. There is nothing more lucrative. They're more cunning, they're more devious, they're more criminal than shotters. Because at least with shotters, they're getting, and I'm not glorifying it, guys, I've got to take it here. At least they're getting in exchange for the money, they're getting, you know, substances. But here, we are getting absolutely nothing. We are building everything ourselves. We are doing everything ourselves. These pastors are coming out. Guys, it doesn't have to be a pastor. It could be a mentor. It could be anyone that invests any time in you. That's why these gangbangers, if they get with a good girl who lives like, I don't know, somewhere posh or whatever, and they start their life and they get the girl pregnant, then maybe the dad's rich and then they start to do construction. That's the only type of way I see people getting out of the hood, in those kind of situations. Or they unalive, then there's mental home, prison. But there are the few that have got out, like say like they've been in Cunch somewhere, you know, like maybe Liverpool. Do you get it? And then they've fallen in love. They've fallen in love with the girl who they were using her yard to cuckoo chair. Do you know what I mean? They've ended up having kids, so they've just disappeared and they're in another ends now. You know, it's like stuff like that happens, you know. But it's rare. But you do get the odd man them here and there, you know, that happens too. So again, I'm just saying that to demonstrate that, you know, when they get a good girl that's not involved, that's a civilian, that's in a completely different area. There's like another country now. Like I'm talking about Scotland, Ireland, Liverpool. It's somewhere like a place you've never heard of. They just disappear. They just go off the grid and they don't even chat to no one. You never hear from them again. Do you understand what I'm telling you lot? But someone like that would still have to look over their shoulders, because you never know. You might be out somewhere and you might, you know, see someone. So it never ends. Do you understand what I'm saying? But because there's been tragic stories of people who have moved away, like stuff like that, and then someone's seen them out and that's it. You get me, guys? So again, but I'm just using these examples to talk about how, for you to see how similar, you know, like the gangs are as high control groups, and like cults are religious high control groups. And on that note, guys, I think I'm gonna go. But it's been lovely. I hope you've enjoyed the live. Guys, I've got the recording is going to be up on YouTube, and the recording is going to be up on Instagram. So on both social media platforms, if you want to go and, you know, listen over to it, because even sometimes when I do the lives, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't listen to it because I didn't put it on YouTube. You know, I like to kind of look at what I say as well, because I can't be outside of these shoots. Like an idiot, I have to delete it. But you know what, guys, even when I listen back, or I look back at myself and I think, oh, I'm not really happy with how I look and whatever, I just always keep it, because I have to say to myself, Leah, it's not about you. It's about the information that the survivors share. All right, guys, I love y'all. I'm going to go. I think I'm going to end from YouTube first. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for your support and coming on and listening. I appreciate you guys. I'll be back soon. Not tomorrow. I think it will be Friday. Bye. Please subscribe and like and share. I don't know why I'm waving like a mannequin. But anyway, bye. It's probably because I'm tired. All right, Insta.